And sometimes what we wonder is, God, what's your will? What do you want me to do or not do? Let me just tell you, the first thing you got to do, you got to open the Word of God. And you got to ask God, have you spoken about this issue that I'm considering? Will you give some principles for this decision that I am making? What you need is in the Word of God. And before you look anywhere else, you need to look into His Word. And here's what I told my kids when they were growing up. The second most important decision you ever make is who you marry. The most important decision you ever make is who you worship. So who your God is, well, that's your biggest decision. Who you marry, that's your next biggest decision. And what we're going to look at today, we're going to look at a man of God named Samson. He's making this massive decision. Who will his bride be? And here's the big idea. When we sin, we not only break God's heart, we also break our own life. And that's the brutality of disobedience to the Word of God. And so before he makes his decision to marry, he should read a verse. I'll share it with you. It's in Deuteronomy 7. God gave this verse before his people entered into the promised land and before the days of Judges and Samson. God couldn't be clearer. You shall what? Not. The Bible, just so you know, tells us some things you're supposed to do and some things you're not supposed to do. You shall not intermarry with them, the unbelievers, giving your daughters to their sons or taking their daughters for your sons. For God says, here's what's going to happen. They would turn away your sons from following me to serve other gods. Those are demons. Then the anger of the Lord would be kindled against you. Here's what God says. When you enter into the land, don't marry unbelievers and don't let your kids marry unbelievers. Marriage, family, in church, that's the foundation of civilization. Right? If you destroy marriage, which we have done, we can't even define marriage. If you murder children and mutilate those that are not murdered and have a progressive, woke, apostate, compromised church, there's no foundation on which to build a civilization. So the key is strengthen marriage, strengthen family, strengthen the church. That's the only hope for the world.